Hi, folks, and welcome to part two. Before anybody sends Humane Society on me, I was just kidding at the end there. I love our dogs, and they were providing a very important service. They were protecting me from the postal carrier. So hopefully they'll be a little quieter, and if they start barking, I'll ignore them, and hopefully you can too. So back to the fast tempos. We were talking about just getting those quarter notes going. Like so. Now, you'll notice a couple of things. One is I'm really not lifting the stick very high at all. Like barely between an inch and half an inch off the cymbal. The great thing about playing time on the cymbal fast is that cymbals are made of metal and there's a lot of rebound in metal. So you really actually don't have to strike them with much force to get some rebound, okay? So that's one thing you're going to be working on as you're doing your quarter notes on the cymbal there. And then what you want to do is do it with some of those recordings I mentioned, some of those recordings with Tony Williams or Stan Levy or Max Roach on them. Now, a couple other things to think about. The other thing is you're working on playing those quarter notes, those fast tempos, and we already talked about that those quarter notes at those fast tempos are like eighth notes at sort of a medium fast rock tempo, so we shouldn't have much trouble playing them. So what you want to concentrate on as well is being nice and relaxed, okay? Your whole arm should be very spongy, not flexed like a weightlifter, but really almost just flopping around, and that your hands just following the stick as it's rebounding off the cymbal. Okay, so that's one aspect of it. So, and then what you want to do again is play along with those recordings and not get off the rails with them. Be able to match your quarter note time with whatever time is on the recording. Okay, then the next step would be just playing the quarter notes and then hi-hat on tune 4, doing the same thing, and just really again feeling those tempos. And now, in fact, you could even throw in some comping. I talked about on-the-beat comping in an earlier posting, or starting to use some of those upbeats, and I will play a short solo at the end to demonstrate that. And even if you can do that and maintain that sort of intensity, that's a really good start. Now, a lot of people get pretty concerned with the skip beat, and actually this isn't only at fast tempos, it seems to be at all tempos. And I think it's important to remember that the skip beat, or the ands of the beat when we're playing time. So if I was playing a medium tempo, that da-da, you know, that note that isn't the quarter notes, it's played a lot of different ways, and I think it's more just decorating the swing. So I don't think we have to worry about it as much as we think. The other thing about fast tempos is also keep in mind that that rhythm is going to flatten out. Right? That it's going to just be a quarter note and 2/8 notes. So if we sped up the ride cymbal rhythm, and I play it super tripletty to start with, about here it starts becoming straight notes. So for everybody at a certain point, there's a break, almost like a vocalist break when they go into falsetto, where the ride cymbal has to become eighth notes. Now, for some players, it's higher up the tempo spectrum. Elvin Jones would be a good example of that. For a lot of people, it's lower down the tempo spectrum. Billy Higgins or Tony Williams would be an example of that. But at some point, you're going to have to straighten out those eighth notes. Okay, there's no way around that one. Okay, so that's something you're going to think about and listen as you're listening to these people play the ride cymbal. And the other thing you want to start thinking about is a couple other techniques. Now, we talked about the rebound. You can also practice this bit of using your fingers a little bit. So you could do stuff like this. Here, I'm gonna... So in that case, I'm just using the fingers, not any rebound. Or using rebound to the extreme of trying to play the ride cymbal rhythm with a skip beat, just using the bounce of the cymbal. And this is probably going to sound pretty sloppy for most of you, and I wouldn't worry about that for right now. It's just, again, getting you used to the sound of and the feeling of playing the cymbal really relaxed. So here it is, just using bounce. And in fact, I know a couple of non-drummers who actually do that quite well, and at certain tempos they can sort of make it work. And actually, if you listen to Billy Higgins on a lot of those Ornette Coleman recordings, and he's playing fast tones, he almost sounds like he's doing that. It's mainly bounce, okay? So that's an important part of it too. We can't probably use just bounce. It's going to be a bit too hard to control, but that's another arsenal in this whole thing of trying to figure out how you're going to play that cymbal. So for me, it's sort of a combination of all those things. A bit of rebound, a bit of that bounce, and a bit of making strokes, and also even a bit of sort of push-pull with using the bounce and then using the fingers again. I'll show that. Sort of this motion. Now, I don't use that all the time with fast tempos. I find, for me, the feel I don't like that much. I tend to use that more at sort of fast Brazilian tunes and stuff like that, where I need to play all the eighth notes. But that I know some people who do that pretty well exclusively for fast tempos, and it works quite well for them. So the other thing I want to say is it's going to be different for everybody how they get these skip beats out. But I think what you want to try and do is be patient with it and just use the quarter notes at really fast tempos until you're sort of working that in. Try to practice your medium fast tempos and get those relaxed as you can. And gradually, I think you will find a method that works the best for you. Now, what was I going to say? Okay, here we go. So, I think you want to use a combination of all these things, and again, the number one things are really make sure you're keeping up that tempo. You can always rely on those quarter notes if you're feeling like you're getting tired or stiffening up, especially if you're playing with people. If you're practicing and stiffening up, just stop. But if you're at a gig and you don't want to stop, of course, switch to those quarter notes, and they'll help you gas up until you can try and get some more, maybe the skip beat in. Also, you're not playing the skip beat all the time. A lot of people move the ride cymbal rhythm around, so don't feel that it has to be in every single bar. And most importantly, just stay relaxed. That's the most important thing. Okay, so I'm just going to play a little bit of me playing fast tempo ride, and you can look at it, and then later on I'll play using the whole kit. Okay, so here we go.